Hi guys, happy new year. I don't think I've formally said happy new year to you guys. I don't think I've formally sat down and said what's up, so I wanted to do this in this video. So I want to talk about 5 ways I became more feminine. Now this is something I've been wanting to do for a while. As you guys know, I am married. I've been married for a couple of years right now, and I've been wanting to dive into femininity and how I became more feminine and what I learned and how I matured in my relationship and all that type of stuff. I did take a couple of notes in my book so I could, stay on course. I used to be very masculine. In terms of my personality, I still do kind of have a little bit of a strong personality. The way I had to become more feminine was being a little bit more submissive. Now, I'm not saying submissive in the fact that your husband will disrespect you and then you're supposed to sit there and take it. That's not submissive. That's just you being stupid. I say submissive in terms of, like, when I cook, I personally serve my husband first before I serve my plate, or I serve him once I make food. He serves me too, which I don't think that there's anything wrong with it. That's not really a Nigerian tradition. I did grow up in a predominantly Nigerian home, so I had to learn how to be a wife in a different way. I had to actually kind of just grow into it in a way. Growing up in a Nigerian home, we really don't have a lot of conversations about femininity and womanhood and growing into a woman, because I think that African parents tend to shy from that conversation, like sex and other stuff like body odor and waxed and all that type of stuff. That's not really normal in a Nigerian home. For me, from my experience, I didn't really go through that, so I really had to come into being a woman by just kind of learning and experiencing those type of things. So I am submissive to a certain extent. My husband does not disrespect me. He's an amazing man who would never do that, but submitting in terms of, like, sometimes I have to just, like, listen. I do have a strong personality, so most of the time we do clash in different areas, but for the most part, as far as like me like serving him, I don't mind that. Like, if I go out with my husband, I'm gonna serve him. Like, that's just what I grew up with. Another thing is that I cook in my house. I love cooking, but also it's because my mom kind of raised me to cook. One thing that she used to pound on in me and my sister's head is, oh, wake up early in the morning, you guys have to, you're waking up, you have to clean up the house and cook and all that type of stuff. Me personally, I don't do that. Ever since I moved out of our house, we do have our morning routine completely differently from the way the Nigerian standard way of a wife is supposed to be. I guess a wife's supposed to wake up every morning and take care of the entire house, and a husband is just supposed to be chilling and having a good old dandy time. That does not happen in this household. And in a feminine way, I do more of the feminine stuff. Like, I would wash the bathroom, but we take turns in cleaning the bathroom. I would, like, wash the dishes, but we also take turns in cleaning the dishes. So my feminine way is, if my husband wants me to wash the dishes, sometimes I have to do it, just because, you can't let him be the dishwasher every day. Another way I learned how to be more feminine was started getting waxes, female maintenance, like waxes, getting your nails done. I don't do my lashes because I don't like stuff that irritates my eyes. I like to just take off my lashes and take off everything at night, but I do get waxes, and that was something that I had to learn how to start doing. Like, my mom didn't really get waxes, so you really didn't pass that knowledge down to me. I just kind of had to learn from other females that, waxes, it's very feminine. Deodorant, of course, that's normalized, but I use scented lotion now just because I love how it smells on me. I love smelling good. I love smelling pretty. I want people to just get next to me and be like, oh my gosh, she smells so good. So that's the way I've upped it, and my husband liked the way I smell, so I try to use scented lotion. I do get waxes just because I think it's better. I don't like razor bumps. None of that. So that's another way that I became more feminine. One thing I am working on the whole femininity scale that I try to become more feminine is dressing very classy. A way I became more feminine was dressing very classy. I don't really show my body too much now. I do have an amazing body, child. Like, that is not, I do have an amazing body, but I don't broadcast it to the world. That's something that I had to, like, really in myself want to do. And I think that being feminine is that, like, you have to be classy. You have to carry yourself to a certain standard of womanhood, and especially as a Black woman, I have to be classy. I have to have a certain image about myself, and I'm married, so there's a certain type of level that I have to be at, in terms of like dressing classy, not being classless, and not being too much. Now, I'm not saying that you can't show off your body, because once in a while, baby girl, you just throw on a nice little bikini and show the world what. Listen, baby, this body still bang, but excessively, you know. That's one way that I tapped into my femininity. Also, another way is being sexy. That's why how I upped my femininity was being sexy. You could be sexy without being a hoe. Girls, that if you're not in a relationship, or if your boyfriend doesn't mind, you could let it hang out. That's your business. Me personally, the way that I became more feminine was I don't really let everything hang out. That's not really who I am. That's not really the type of woman I am. And I felt like, in a way, that kind of up my femininity, kind of helped me to become more feminine, was just dressing a little more classier, and carrying myself in a much more classier way. And whenever I converse with people, I like to have good conversation with people. So I feel like that's very feminine. I feel like a feminine woman is very like just graceful and just looks so classy, and you just look at them like, wow, that woman is put together. I feel like I became more feminine because I became more classy. I started to put myself together, and I started to take care of myself more. These are the things that I had to learn by myself, especially with the way I grew up. By watching other people, you could become like that too. The way I became more feminine is I let the man take the lead. Oh my goodness. I let the man take the lead. Let me give you guys the funniest story. When me and Roland first moved in together, when we first like started like dating, no, not dating, when we first moved in together, this was before we got engaged or got married or anything, we were building an IKEA table, right? An IKEA table for the computer table. So we're trying to put it together, and I would not let him take the lead. I would not let him take the lead. I'm just like, no, I got it. I want to do it myself. I'm just very like independent. I'm a very like just I got it type of woman, and I had to like kind of bring that down a little bit, because I have to let a man be a man. And you know, that's something that I had to learn in my marriage. This is not something that was told to me. I had to literally learn how to let the man be a man. And men actually do pay attention to stuff like that, because they do want to lead. Like, that's what men want to do. A man wants to lead. He wants to be the leader in certain things. So we bumped heads because we're putting in the IKEA table, and I was not letting him have it. I was like, I'm going to do it by myself. So we bumped heads in that. But now I am more, you know, refined. You know, if he wants to build something, I just kind of let him do it, you know, and let him take the lead and let him take care of that. That's one thing that I feel like we need to practice more, is like letting the man be the leader, letting him kind of do, you know, do what he wants to do, and just being that masculine, because two masculine people cannot live in the same house. Like, it's not gonna happen. You can't be masculine and your husband be masculine. He's gonna be like, what the hell, did I marry a man? Roland said that to me before, because I'm so damn because I used to be so damn masculine. He was like, damn, you won't let me be a man. I'm like, okay. Like, that's something I had to learn. I had to learn how to do that. Another way I became more feminine is not to expect every man to be the same. Honestly, that is such a big thing, because sometimes as women, we see that we've been done wrong by one guy, and we just expect all of them to be like that. That's not a good way of thinking, because every man is not the same. I honestly, honest to God, when I was dating, I said men were BS. I was like, men were just, I was just done with them. I was done with men. I was just like, they're stupid. But for some reason, when I met my now husband, I was vulnerable with him. Like, I was able to open up to him, and I didn't use the idea that all men are stupid to kind of affect how I felt about this one person, or even have a conversation, or even bring my guard down, because I brought my guard all the way down when I was speaking to him. So let's not expect everybody to be like the other people, the last person we dealt with. That's like really big when it comes to femininity. It's like, don't let that one action of one person affect, you know, the relationship that you want to get into. You want to be able to not make it seem like it's a test, you know. Another way I became more feminine is, I'm still working on this one. Now this one, I honestly, guys, and you guys probably gonna be like, I wonder what she's gonna talk about. This one I'm working on, having the man open the door for you. Oh my gosh, I had to literally stop opening my own door, because I'm so used to it, like opening my door for myself. Even for so many years, I just did it myself. But Roland always like, he would like, damn, can I open the door for you? And it's just like, never caught myself doing it until I think last year when Roland was like, dang, let me open the door for you, I was just like, oh, I didn't know that, you know, it's not even that I didn't know, it's just that I was so used to, you know, I kind of grew up kind of doing everything by myself. I have this independent personality. I'm very like, I'm a very strong woman. Like, I'm very like, you know, given to a straight no chaser. So having a man open the door for me was something that I had to just kind of, you know, let happen, because honestly, I just walk and I open the door. I don't like think about it. I'm not really thinking about him opening the door for me, but like that's what he normally does. I just never caught on. I never caught that I was doing that. So that was something that I had to like really let happen, was let my husband open the door for me. Yeah, I don't think that there's a guide on how to be a wife or be a black woman. Well, there is. Is there a guide on how to be a wife? No, there isn't. I don't think that there's a guide on how to be a wife. I kind of just learned everything as I went. And I do wish that there was somebody that was like, that did put that type of content out there on how to be a wife. So I guess I'll just be you guys' guide on how to be a wife. There is stereotypes of black women, and I feel like the stereotypes are it's kind of productive. It's not right that black women are stereotyped to being loud or being masculine. I don't think that. I believe that black women are strong. There's just so many things that a black woman can endure, so that makes us strong. And we don't know how to be feminine sometimes. We don't know that we need to be a little bit more vulnerable. We don't know that we need to be more submissive. I grew up in an African home where there's the submissiveness. Did I say right? The submissiveness. It means waking up in the morning at 5 a.m. to cook and clean and turn into a freaking slave. So I have that, where that's the Nigerian part of it. And then I come into black culture where I need to learn about how to be a wife. I'm black, you know what I'm saying? So I live in the United States, so I'm gonna have to, I relate better with black way of being a wife versus the Nigerian way of being a wife. I do take a little bit of that, but I don't take the entity of it. I remember when I was on Twitter, I feel like I'm running on, but I'm about to end this. I remember when I was on Twitter, and there was a video that went viral of in my tradition, I'm Yoruba, so a husband and his wife were getting married, and in Yoruba culture, you're supposed to kneel down to feed your husband the kola nut, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure, but you're supposed to do that. You're supposed to kneel down. There's a lot of dobale, and there's a lot of kneeling down and all that type of stuff. And she was about to kneel down. The husband said no. And even the people in the background was telling her, no, you must kneel down. And it's just like, no. And I'm glad that the idea of being a wife in an African home, I'm glad that it's changing. You could submit to your husband, but I don't think you should be a slave. That's number one. Number two, you also shouldn't be too masculine. You also need to let a man kind of take the lead. And then there's this narrative that's going out that a man has to douse you in things in order for him to be a husband. As soon as you say a leader, me personally, I don't think that you should base somebody's worth on what they can do for you. I believe that you should base somebody's worth on who they are and what their values are. Once somebody has a good value and ambition, you could build any man into what you want him to be, honestly. I believe foundation is everything, and the foundation of a house is a woman. So, and a strong woman at that. But the man also has to be a leader, and he also has to be the head of the house. So I believe that money is not everything, but if somebody loves you and they have good values and they have good ambition, they will be the best man that you've ever met, ever. And you would want to submit to him. Why wouldn't you want to submit to a good guy? Like, that's literally how life is. We have to submit. That's just what it is. I don't make the rules. I don't make the rules. I don't like the African way of, the Yoruba way of submission. That's a little bit much for me. I'm kind of in the middle of the submission. I'm kind of in the American way of submission and the African way of submission, meaning I will feed you, I will take care of you, but you're not about to talk to me wild. That I really appreciated that he like pulled his wife up and said, no, she's not you know, kneeling down. No, she's not doing that. It's going against the grain, and I'm pretty sure she appreciates it, and I know she submits to her husband. So yeah, those are the 5 ways I became more feminine. That's how I became more feminine. I am still working on certain things on being more feminine. We're not perfect. Everybody's kind of growing up. We're all kind of entering this whole womanhood together. And honestly, I'm gonna do more videos about this. I wanna tap more into my femininity. So I'm definitely gonna do more videos about this. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. If you're married or in a relationship, do you submit to your husband? Do you submit to your boyfriend? Do you cook for him? Do you do any of those things? I would love to know in the comments down below. And what are the 5 ways that you want to be more feminine? Let me know, because I want to know where I could probably work on, because you just never know. You guys might comment ways that you're gonna be more feminine, and I might see it and be like, oh my gosh, I want to work on that too. So make sure you guys are commenting down below. Make sure you guys give this video a big old thumbs up. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll catch you on my next one. Bye. Mwah.